what has been happening in the wrestling world. Welcome to the show, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The Two Counts, always the best guests in Midwest. The Two Counts, wait time guaranteed because we're the best of the best. Meet Ace and JR, Top Shelf Tommy, we're about to start. Welcome to the Two Counts. It's time to dig deep into the wrestling world. Welcome to the Two Counts, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The Two Counts.
The Two Count. The Two Count. Where comedy meets wrestling. Please comment, share, like, and start a hype train for God's sakes. And now, here are the hosts of The Two Count. Comedian John Russell, wrestling broadcaster Big Ace, and everybody's favorite heel, Top Shelf Tommy.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Oh my gosh, it's snowing up here in Minneapolis. Well, it stopped, but boy, snowed all day long. Hello, Mitchell. Hello, Rudy. Good to see you guys, and good to see everybody along with us. Fantastic show coming up tonight. We have one of our favorite guests, and we're just gonna have fun, right?
Yes.
Correct.
This is true. At this point, I mean, it kind of feels like he's kind of like part of the team now.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Because we try to make sure that we bring this guy on a regular basis just because how fun the
I think
shows
he is
are.
part of the team, though. What
when
is this
he's
kind of
here,
stuff?
so yeah, he's. I mean, if he would like to be part of the Two Count,
we back. The
See?
honorary Two Count. I should do this.
It's like
the honorary
you're-
Two
are you-
Count is
yeah, there it is.
Lucy?
I'm feeling very toothy. It's the Two Count.
Nice.
I'm feeling toothy.
Nice. Welcome back, Mr. NUR-D.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Two Count. Everybody out there in the lovely universe, the most attractive wrestling podcast in the world. We're here tonight.
Wow, that's even with JR's hair down and me with this ugly ass mustache. So, wow, man,
I mean,
NUR-D.
yeah.
Thanks, man.
I mean, the mustache is clearly a phase, and that's okay. And we all need to explore ourselves. And JR looks interesting. The hair familiar.
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on it though.
This is, sometimes, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I had to shovel my driveway to get the car in the driveway, right? So my hair was all kind of still wet. And so I figured I might as well just air it out while we're doing this.
Yeah.
Normally,
I'm just
I
really
wear
glad
it
you
in-
didn't die shoveling.
It's not heavy snow, and shut up.
You're just old. I needed to make sure that everybody's
I
aware.
understand.
Heart attacks happening.
That's real. That's real. Please get checked.
That
Get your
is
heart
true.
out checked, everybody.
That
See?
is true, but don't worry. I will make sure that Ace has all the passwords in case I do pass away. But you're never going to see them.
There you go.
Jeez.
This is like
Get no
Knives Out.
respect around this show.
This whole show is just going to take a dark turn. So who would we replace JR with on a regular time basis?
Well,
I mean, if
I
we
would-
could, man. I'm
I
going
mean,
with,
I'm just saying,
Ric
could
Flair.
easily
Oh,
just
wait.
be what? What?
Oh no!
I'm not
he did
dead
not
yet.
just do that.
Not dead yet. That's what he
Yet
says.
he says yet. Oh my goodness!
Oh man, dude! So chat before we get into the Survivor Series and everything wrestling, catch us up.
Wrestling
What's
stuff.
what's going on in the world of NUR-D though, man? Because we see you
Yo.
online, we see you out there grinding.
It's been a wild little end here to the year. We're winding down, but not finishing. We still got a lot to do. So I was in Nashville for quite some time, hanging out with amazing musicians, possibly recording some new music, and just in general extending the nerdy verse past the known reaches of our current Midwest arena. So it's been super dope in that way. Been able to hang out. Obviously, Thanksgiving, we had some time there. I was at the first ever Vikings game at the Viking Stadium for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
That was crazy. That was wild. You know what I mean? Anytime you get a bunch of screaming fans all together, we know as wrestling fans, the energy kind of like jobs up. And I know we'll never get it. I know we'll never get it. But boy, would it be cool to have Mania. You know what I mean? Like, that would be
Amen.
so cool. We'll never get it. It's too cold here when it's Mania season. I understand. No one will want to come here. When we had our Super Bowl, when the Super Bowl was here the last time, that was our only chance to prove that we could do it. And it was the coldest winter we've ever had in the history of winters. And it was just the worst. So, like, we'll never get it. They will never come here for that. But maybe a SummerSlam. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, maybe we could get a SummerSlam. We could convince them to give us one of the big four.
I think you're probably right on SummerSlam. I think Mania, since it's that early part or late March, early part of April, and we just always seem to get snow one of those first couple weekends in April. It's like, this is probably never going to happen. You're right.
The only time we'll have it in here is if somehow we have a main eventer in the WWE with a winter theme. Like, their theme is that it's cold, or that, like, you know what I mean? Because Brock Lesnar, he's from here. When he's been champion, we've never got it. You know what I mean? Because he's not like repping that all the time. You know, dude.
That's true.
for him, but
Glacier?
Yeah, bring back Glacier.
Well, he's not from up here, but
Yes, shout out. Bring back Glacier today.
Now.
We need Glacier Mania.
Didn't,
in
did,
the same way that we had Kofi Mania. We need Glacier Mania.
didn't we see Glacier and Gangrel tag at a first show years ago?
we did. It was at the Bauhaus, the first one that you and I
That's
went
right.
to.
Oh,
That's
yes, I was at that
right.
show.
Yeah.
I was at that show. Yeah, that was fun. That was very
Okay.
fun. I
They-
want
what
more.
a weird gimmick duo.
That's what I would say. That whole time, I'm like, this is the oddest
Here's the
tag
thing.
team in the world.
Cold
If they
blooded.
wanted to. Cold-blooded. That's easy. It sells itself. Man, it sells itself. Cold
That's
blood.
true.
This freaking icicles dripping from fangs, or fangs like that are made of icicles. You're
Yeah,
you're
there you
done.
go.
You're selling it. Red snow cones at your merch table.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Dang,
If you're
dude.
watching this, Glacier and Gangrel, and I know you are, because I always think that JR is secretly Gangrel. I have never seen them in the same room at the same time.
Fucking roasted right there. Holy
This
shit,
is
dude.
true.
Got you good.
But I'm saying that if you guys are watching, you want to have one more run at the top. You guys have a ready-made gimmick, and you don't even have to pay me as much as you would normally have to pay me for that.
That is amazing.
Oh,
Maybe
geez.
they could get
So
Too Cold Scorpio in with them too.
there it is. Oh my goodness.
Oh, now we got a
all
stable
the
going.
ice thieves, all the cold thieves, all the ice and cold thieves.
Right?
Sting can be a part of it because he did the whole Winter is Coming in AEW. So let's
Yeah,
get him.
that's
Let's
right.
get him in there. Too Cold
Oh, that's
Scorpio.
snow.
I feel like it'd be funny as like a reverse of expectations. Get Scotty Too Hottie, and now we just Scotty Too Cold. Just to
He's
throw
just an
people
old man
off,
with
you
a
know?
cane
Yeah,
coming
just
in with a
Cold
shawl.
Fire. Cold Fire he comes out with, you know.
Oh,
Trying
my
to think.
God.
Little bit of
does anyone
icy
else
hot.
have a cold gimmick that I don't know of, or like was like a have a cold? But I don't know anybody else who was like cold as a gimmick.
Oh,
Oh,
Iceman.
yeah,
Iceman,
Iceman
yeah.
Domenico. Oh,
Thank you.
See,
Thank you very
Badger,
much.
you're
You guys
doing it,
see
man.
Pretty good.
There we
Badger
go.
coming through.
I'm saying that there's a cold stable that's not being utilized.
That's
Apparently,
hilarious.
dude.
That is amazing. We're putting up some entertaining stuff right here. I would watch this show.
I would
This was
watch
being
it.
booked on TV right now.
I'm getting so I have finally, for the first time in a long time, got to sit down with my PS5, and I've been playing WWE 2K, like the newest 2K game, and I'm getting
Okay.
into my wrestler creation because it takes so much time. I don't know if any of you've played it's not something you can just like, oh, I'm just gonna make a guy. It'll take 15 minutes and I can go and play. It is an
Not if you want it to
intricate
be good.
process. Not if you want to be
Mhm.
good.
Right.
So it's just like I have the booking brain on right now. I'm like, oh man, how do I make this dude?
Okay.
Oh, let me make this dude.
So you brought up the game real quick. Why don't you give us a quick review of what this game's like? Because I haven't heard anything, and this
yeah.
is the first game in like a 2-year thing. Because that last one just crashed and burned.
Yes. So 2K21 was garbage. It was garbage, hot garbage. I actually bought it. You can't play the story mode. It has a built-in error that stops every time, no matter how many times you reload it, no matter how many times you redo it. So you will not be able to finish that game. It's not worth buying. I know the wrestling isn't only about the story mode, but the fact that you can't finish the story
Right.
mode is frustrating to me.
No shit.
To a
bullshit.
ridiculous degree. There's nothing you can do, and there's like unlockables that you just can't unlock because you have to finish the story mode to do it. So they obviously took their time, put the work in. This game is actually pretty darn good. The fluidness of some of these moves that they've gotten, it looks a lot cleaner than it has for a lot of things. Shout out to LA Knight, by the way, who did the motion capture for like 75% of the game.
Oh, wow.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, like apparently LA Knight was like the guy they used for a lot of like the male body stuff. So he did a lot of different things. So when you see The Rock walk down to the ring, I watched an interview with him. When you see The Rock walk down to the ring on that game, that's just LA Knight pretending to be The Rock, and they just put the
Oh,
Rock's
shit.
face over it. So some
Okay.
really, really good stuff in there. The story mode, the My Rise, interesting. I didn't hate it. It's very much like a from the performance center all the way up till you become WWE champion. I will say that there is not a lot of replay value because when you do it once and you've kind of done it, so there's not a real reason to do it again. That being said, they give you a lot of options on like where you start from, which is really cool. Like you're from indies, you were from MMA, you were from various other sport, or you were from the entertainment industry, and the story mode will have like little asides based on what you said. So that was actually pretty cool. Fighting's good. I haven't tried the GM mode yet, but I know that's what everybody really likes to do, to create their own little like thing. And I'm making my character creation. It's a little clunky, but it's still fun.
Nice. Will you try the AEW game when it comes out?
Oh, I have to. I've
Okay.
played every single wrestling game that has come out, with the exception of like the Super Brawler one that looked like all cartoony, like for kids. Because I was just like, all right, I'm okay.
Right. Okay.
I'm all right.
So
But
we'll have
yeah,
to
the
get-
AEW game.
Okay. We'll have to get your review of that when it comes out.
Yes, it looks a little. We don't have the money to do a video game, but we want to put out a video game. But I played the TNA game. Shut up.
I was just going to ask about that because that was kind of prototypical. Like, hey, let's just at least introduce a character this way. It's like, oh, okay, all right, that's a good reason to launch a whole game right there. That's a lot of money to put behind one character.
I was so surprised when that came out in real life, and you were just like, okay, so in the game, fine, I guess. The story was very interesting, but I was like, man, I don't know if I want to play a character called Suicide.
It's a bit much. It's a bit much.
It's a game, so I've played weirder people in games. I'll let it slide. And then when I saw it on television, I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
The character from the game that we all know is not the person that's on the screen. I guess that
Right.
works out. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was an interesting game. It was bad, but I liked it more instead of machine guns, so I played it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, we said it. Survivor Series was this Saturday night. One of the big four. What's one of your favorite Survivor Series moments before we get into this? Like, just
Ever?
of all time, yeah.
Oh man, gobbledygook.
I mean, it's a good one. You know how much more power that story has too. Now, when you hear Undertaker talk about how he thought that was actually going to end up being him in that egg, because then every time now I watch it, I just picture him coming out of that egg and how hilarious that would have been.
Like birthed from a giant egg, the Undertaker. You would never have been able to live that down. It would have
God.
been Eggman. You would have been the Eggman, and we
You
would all
would've.
call him the Eggman.
It would have to.
You think it would have been Eggman or like Mark the Eggman
Ooh, that's
or
a good
Mark
question.
Eggman?
I think it'd be Mark Eggman.
Yeah.
Because I would have chanted Eggman. Everyone would have chanted
Eggman.
Eggman,
Eggman.
Eggman, and he would never have been gotten over.
This is true.
That's true.
It would have been awful.
Yeah. No, okay. My actual favorite Survivor Series moment, I don't think it actually happened in Survivor Series so much as it was the leading up to it. And I want to say it's like 4 years ago now. And that was when NXT invaded.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like Triple H and the NXT guys, Leo Rush and Ripley was there, and Shayna Baszler is champion, and like all of them were just like, we're gonna be in Survivor Series now too. Like, what are you gonna do about it? And Keith Lee and like, and, no, Keith Lee wasn't there yet, but still, it was just like this, like, oh dang, like that's why? Yeah, why? I guess why wouldn't they just try to do that? And they ended up winning Survivor Series if I remember correctly. So like, positive.
That was a good one. It's funny on that one too because it's like that was all just calling an audible because everybody was stuck on a plane in Saudi Arabia that night, and it gave us one of the better Survivor Series that we've had in the later years. Really,
I really think it really has. It was so good. It was so smart to add them in that way. Again, because it's one of the big four. And like I've been saying, I think that's what we should be using the big four to do, and that's to get the casuals. The other ones that you do in between, those are for people who are going to stay and look for the stories all year. The big four should be the ones where, like, invite your friends over if they've never seen wrestling before. We're going to show you as many wrestlers as you possibly can, and hopefully one of these dudes are going to spark your interest.
right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing
That's the way
about
to do it, really.
WrestleMania. Well, that's the beautiful thing about WrestleMania. You don't have to be a wrestling fan, but you know WrestleMania is. So
It's a big deal.
it
Same
is,
with the
you
Royal
know?
Rumble. That's I get all my friends to freak out for the Royal Rumble. Why? Because I can guarantee you, I will show you 60 wrestlers with the women and the men's wrestling. You will see 60 wrestlers tonight, and so there's guaranteed to be someone that you're going to be like, that person looks kind of cool, and now you might be a fan. Like it's that easy.
What's a Guild Rush, Shank?
What is Guild Rush? I don't
He
even
meant
know.
Gold Rush.
Oh,
Yeah,
was
don't be a
excited
dick
to type
to
Gold Rush.
Shanky.
And
I would never.
and hit Guild.
You just
never.
were. What do you mean you would never? You would never. You just were. You know it was Gold Rush. Don't be a dick.
I didn't
don't know if it was
me.
Gold Rush. I don't know if it was, Tom.
Ace, stop it.
Your face is gonna match your shirt by the end of this show.
Oh, is this because I'm a little agitated now? So clearly I'm going to just get beat red. Come on, get over yourself, Ace. I don't care about you that much.
The last few weeks would say different.
Here we go again.
Ooh.
Shank gets it. I'm the only one that's allowed back. Fuck y'all, dude. Because Brandon the Shank Eubanks, he knows it, baby. He's top shelf all the way.
We love
Him
the
and Bryce
Shank.
Jordan,
We all love the Shank.
the boys, they top shelf.
We all hate Bryce Jordan.
We know. Don't you say that? We all.
I'm
Well,
not.
I know
in,
you don't.
I'm in the middle of all. I just don't agree with his actions. I don't hate
Tom's
him.
just a gigantic fanboy for Bryce.
Ooh.
Whoa, dude, fanboy.
A little bit.
I mean, it's good to be a fan. I don't know about fanboy though. I mean, I think Bryce is genuinely my friend.
Well, there you go. Friendship is magic, from what I'm told.
Friendship is magic.
See, yeah, that's why NUR-D is living that top shelf life too. Okay, you can't deny it. This man is on. He gets it, dude. The man just gets it. Okay,
We're just we are at a different level. I'm not going to pretend that the top shelf isn't a nicer shelf.
see, all the time, dude.
All right.
It is what it is.
It is.
You just
This
gotta tell
is
these
true.
haters up here. JR and Ace just don't get it, dude.
No, it's not that I hate. I know it's not.
They want to
hate
be top
thing.
shelf so bad they put their little like windows above ours.
See, that's exactly it. They want to try to keep us
Oh,
down.
here, is
These
that- you
two
think
guys
that'll-
got their.
Is that the solve? Is that the way it works? There you go.
That's
You guys-
exactly how it
it's
should
not-
work right there.
It looks more appropriate. Yes.
It does
No
look
joke.
appropriate. I mean, it does for
They're
you
the-
because you're the guest and you're
Yeah.
a renowned musician. But to have Tom up there, that's still like saying, "Oh my God, this pimple on my nose. I'd like to make sure everybody sees it."
I feel like this has actually never happened. I feel like I've never been in one of these corners on the top here. It might have happened by accident one time
There's
when like
only
Ace
two
or
fucking
somebody's.
corners. Pardon my language. There's 2 corners.
How do
There's
you
only
feel?
2.
You feel
There's
good
4
up here?
corners. You're gonna be in one of
Yeah,
them.
I
can
feel
see
great up
everything.
here, man.
You can see
I mean,
everything.
look at the view.
Right?
It's beautiful.
Look at the people below us. I mean, come on, man.
I
Like
feel
this
like
is
it's there is a reason that the power it's up here. Heat
this
rises.
is the class
I will
level,
say
dude.
this. I will say this. If you were truly top shelf, you would have said, and look at those 2 guys who are clearly beneath us.
I was trying to get there, but you know, we're too busy laughing all over here.
You're not.
Oh,
You're
I'm
not.
sorry. What was that, JR? I can't hear you all the way up here. What did you say?
We up. We all the way up. Speaking of which, we got to talk about.
Nonverbals, baby. Nonverbals.
Anyways, real quick though, Brian Cage versus Tony Deppen going on behind JR's head right there.
Ooh,
That's a
yeah.
fun match.
That is a fun match. Brian
Top
Cage,
Shelf
he's a
does it.
machine.
He is the machine. One heck of a nice guy too. Shank, good to have you here, buddy. Good to see you. If you were at the IPW show at Forte Saturday, let us know how that went. But let's get into it, boys. Let's get into it. Survivor Series, one of the big 4 premium live events.
Yes, premium live.
I just can't, man. They're always going to be pay-per-views to me, even if they're not. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah. So let's see. What we start with? The women's war game match is how we open the show.
It is
So-
how we open the show.
The teams are Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, and Becky Lynch. They take on Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley. So, first of all, what do we all think? Is War Games a nice addition to Survivor Series, or is there still some of that hope of wanting those traditional Survivor Series matches?
I'll say this real quick. My feeling is when I watched these War Games matches versus what I watched when they did it at NXT, I'll be honest, I was disappointed. I felt like it was not as war gamey, if that makes any sense, as what was on NXT.
It made zero sense.
I think it's shut up, idiot. I think it does have a place, and I think it is worthwhile. But here's the balance: the men's side had a story, and the women's kind of didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about that. I like the traditional Survival Series match, but like I've said before, it doesn't make sense with how the branding works anymore. It used to make sense back when there were networks and everyone was something different. And like, as someone who didn't have cable growing up, I only watched SmackDown. Not because I didn't like Raw, but because I did not have cable. So when Survivor Series was coming around, I was like, SmackDown. I don't really care who's on the other team because SmackDown was my show. Doesn't really work that way anymore. So like the traditional version of Survivor Series leaves a little to be desired, I will say. That being said, I don't like War Games as a pay-per-view thing. I kind of like War Games as a match that could happen at any time. Do you know what I mean? Like, because when William Regal was like, "How about you guys settle this in War Games?" All of a sudden it was like, "Oh snap! They're gonna add a War Games match to this thing? That's nuts!" You know, like I'd like to be able to be like, WrestleMania War Games. They're like, "Oh snap! They're gonna do War Games at Mania? Like that's nonsense." You understand what I'm saying? Like, I
Yep.
think that it'd be better as a match stipulation than like a pay-per-view anchor. But in that same vein, we can lose Extreme Rules, and if you just wanted to give us War Games, okay.
That's
right.
fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. Well,
That's
my
what I have
take
to say
on
about it.
yeah, this first match, I think all the women did fantastic. In my opinion, though, which is always a good time for Ace to leave, is when I'm giving my opinion. Just walks away, fucking clown.
Can't handle it.
He's just like, no. Oh, he's still talking. Yeah, I'm still talking. It's good to have you back.
You don't stop. What are you talking about?
Hey, dude, somebody has to carry the weight around here.
Oh, snap.
The weight of that mustache.
Yeah, so I genuinely found this match kind of just hard to follow. I don't really like that they have a cameraman in there too. I think that eliminates some spots because it looked really awkward when they had what was it, Bianca and Bailey or whatever in one corner, and then he had to like get out of their way because then in the other corner there's another thing going on. It's like, okay, now it's just kind of jumbled. It's not a great look as far as all that goes. I mean, I know it's hard to shoot through the fencing with cameras and stuff and get a good accurate thing,
Remote
but
control.
it's just it was kind of just wonky. I mean, or yeah, you know you could always put cameras on the post or something like that. I mean, everybody's doing that
and then
stuff now.
Point it down, and like it'll be different. But again, the match is different, so it should look different.
They're going to just start flying a drone around the ring. That's the
Yeah.
camera now.
One
But
of those
why not, though?
double wires
But why
like
not,
the NFL has.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Why
I
would
mean,
you do that?
I mean, they could have done all the weird lighting they did with that Lions Den match or whatever the fuck it was with Riddle and whoever. Like,
the fight pit. Ugh,
the fight pit. That's it. Like all that weird, stupid lighting, and
I'm sorry.
it's a hard match to follow, anyways. And especially with cage matches now, like basically you almost got to be okay with the fans not seeing all of the action as clearly as you want, because it's not like those 80s, cages where, it's basically just rungs of a ladder and stuff like that taped together, it seemed like. But I mean, the women did great. There's a lot of good, entertaining spots, but it was really lackluster as far as the actual outcome, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was the thing. There was nothing to this match. It really, the last going in was like, well, it's the Becky Lynch return now. That's what it turned into. Because you have Bianca Belair, who's, I mean, I guess she's feuding with Damage Control, but now that Becky came back, she is. I don't know what they're doing with that. Bliss, again, is she going to be part of Wyatt or not? Why did they show the Wyatt logo at Crown Jewel when she was doing the interview segment? Feels like that's eventually leading to that. You've got Asuka, who knows what she'll end up doing. Mia Yim, who knows, she just got brought back basically to fight Rhea, so that's going to happen, right? And then you got, on the other side, Bayley and Damage Control doing their own thing, but then you also have Nikki Cross, who's forming into this, like, I mean, I don't want to say, basically, yeah, that's all she's doing now.
They're reverting, but now giving her the ability to speak.
Right.
Before
So
she didn't have the ability to speak.
Again, there was like
true.
a whole bunch of just randomness in this match that you really were watching it to just see how that match was going to be. You talk about the men's one, and that was completely about one storyline, really, when you look at it.
Well, because haven't they had like four? I didn't mean to interrupt. But haven't they had 4-on-4 war games before? Like, wasn't it like Undisputed Era? And it was just the four of them. They didn't have to add a fifth one.
Nope, it was just the Undisputed Era, but I think there was 5 of them because Strong, Cole, Fish, O'Reilly, Strong. Oh wait, no, there was only 4, wasn't there?
Yeah, so weird. That's a weird way of doing that, by the way. I've never seen anybody do 4 that way.
Because that's
maybe Fortune did that one time in TNA. You just like caught on. You're like, oh man, if Ric Flair is doing this now, man, I'm down, dude.
Yeah.
Was that Tom the War Games on NXT where Owens comes out to be the 4th?
Yeah. Owens was a secret guy.
So it was like them, Ciampa, Yeah, I don't remember the full.
So
I don't know.
wanna
That's going back.
I
But
wanted
that's
to
the one
talk
where
about
Cole-
the. Oh, go ahead.
Sure, go ahead.
No, I was just going to talk about the women's War Games match. Something I
No, go ahead.
noticed was that almost everybody in that match had multiple storylines of their characters interlapping, and I felt like they took a major disadvantage of not doing anything about it. You know what I mean? Like the
Yes.
commentators said a little bit of it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like Bianca Belair was feuding with Becky Lynch, Bailey, and Damage Control at one point, right? But then also you had Becky Lynch, who had feuded with Alexa Bliss at one point. Becky Lynch had feuded with Bailey, obviously. Then you had Asuka, who had feuded with Becky Lynch at one point, and Alexa Bliss at one point, and Bailey at one point. You had Nikki Cross, who was best friends with both Alexa Bliss, that they talked about. But then also Rhea Ripley, who betrayed her in the first place.
Yep.
So it was
Right.
just like, why are you yelling at Alexa? Like, you think I forgot? You think I forgot? Like, Rhea did that most recently. Like,
Right.
why aren't you like? She's nobody's friend. She had no hate for anybody in that match other than Alexa Bliss, which made no sense to me.
Very true.
Yeah.
I feel like too that's one of the things that in the transition from Vince to Triple H that's sort of been lost is that WWE still just sort of feels like nobody remembers nothing. It's like here's what we want you to know. Here's what we want you to think and believe, and suspend your belief for this particular reason. Don't
Don't
so
think
I
about
still kind of have a problem with that.
I'm
Yeah.
a firm believer that if it was a real thing, Vince McMahon totally probably tried to buy the little memory eraser things from Men in Black. Just so every once in a while he could just have it on Raw just to be like, you know what? Reset time, everybody.
Yeah, you know how many
Because
times we've been reset to have WrestleMania 3 again? Oh my god.
Yeah. It was just I'm sitting here going like, yo, I get this is cool and all, but isn't Alexa Bliss and Asuka former tag team champions? How is it that nobody has said that in this match? Like,
Right.
oh hey, shout out Jesse, what's up? Yeah, like, why haven't they said that? Why haven't they acknowledged that Alexa Bliss and Asuka literally had pinned these people for their belts not 2 months ago? And like they just the whole and then also Mia Yim, poor girl, got zero freaking airtime. She's supposed to be the wild card, the one on that team that all of us don't really know all that well, unless you've been watching NXT or you really liked Retribution for some odd reason. So it's
It would have
just
been
like,
that reason. That's it.
yeah, like why are you not having her do something? Not even not even something big. Just anything. When she came out, people were just like, "Oh yeah." And then at the end of the match, she's just like hugging everybody, and I was like, "What did you do? How did you help in
She tried
any
to
way?"
put the tables in.
She spent a lot of time doing that. Yeah, that is true.
Dude, So here I'm going to bring that up too, because that was the weirdest thing to me. It's like, okay, so we're not going to put anything in the ring until there's at least 4 people there, and it was the exact same thing with the men's.
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
like
Are you kidding me? Why? If I'm going down there, the first thing I'm doing is taking a chair in with me. Come on.
Why wouldn't you? Or just and I know that this might be a little much for people, and they like the spot, but just have them on the sides of the ring for them to just grab.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they're gonna have to pull them out from underneath the ring and hopefully get them in there, like that seems like a lot. It'll save you time because we'll talk about it in the men's thing, but they were really pushing that 5-minute clock. So like just take it off from the side of the ring and just let them have it. Like a bucket of weapons, a barrel of weapons that you can just have and you can grab when you walk into the ring. Why not? it doesn't make any sense for you to not do that. So just make it a part of it so people don't look stupid by not doing it. You know what I mean? Because
Mad
that's
Max,
what they made him look like. Made him look dumb. Like you could just
Mad Max Thunderdome style.
the Asylum match with Dean Ambrose, weapons everywhere.
Yeah.
Like just
Yeah.
just freaking give them the weapons. War games.
It's not going to ruin anything either. Like the fans will be
Well-
more hyped seeing it out there, knowing it's going to be used. Like
It's
it
gonna be
won't ruin
used,
that
yeah.
reaction.
Yeah, it
which
was a little funky though, seeing all that.
They did miss a key point though, where when Bailey could have just dropped that table on the outside when the crowd was chanting for it, and just nope, because that's what I thought she was going to do, and then she didn't. I was like, oh,
I thought for sure she was going to do that, just because that's what a heel should do, right? I don't care what the
Bailey move too.
it is, yeah.
Go
ahead.
One last thing I'd say about the women's match. Asuka's actually still freaking amazing. I will like Asuka. She looks like the violent aunt of this group now. Like she's kind of been pushed into like this crazy aunt character who's just gonna do wild stuff from time to time. But I like that she's like the Mist is always fun. Her spots are always great. I wish that she was taken more seriously.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all. Like, I wish she was taken more seriously. When she won the tag teams with Alexa Bliss, I was like, both of these women are multi-time champions, some of whom have like record-breaking runs of undefeated streaks, and you would never know it by how they talk about these women.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Ace and I were talking about that going down to Waterloo at the start of the month for an Absolute show, where it was literally, we talked about like, why would you even have them win the championship off of Dakota Kai and Io Sky, because you just gave it back to them right away? It's like that defeats every purpose of a title change. You have no reason for it.
It was so lame, and like
they haven't got another shot at him
because the women's tag team championships, like two wrestlers that shall not be named on the broadcast apparently, had pointed out, are not treated with any sort of respect. And why would you want to be a champion that's not respected? So, like, while
Great
Dakota
point.
Kai and Io Sky, who should really just be called Io Shirai, because if you can say Lannister, Targaryen, or anybody in Game of Thrones, you should be able to say Shirai. That being said, Io Sky is also very good, but they just are doing what they're told.
Yeah.
Because they were just happy to be back. So like, I can understand, like, oh yeah, you'll be the champs and like just hold the belts and walk around and look cool. But like, no. Also, Io Sky had a pretty bad botch right at the beginning of the match when she was trying to do her like handstand thing, and everyone was booing. And I was like, don't boo, leave her alone. This is hard.
Well, yeah, the people who are booing are generally the ones who just, I mean, I don't know, they probably watch Botchmania, they want to boo because, oh, well, you should do that better. I mean, I don't
tough
know.
crowd.
Everybody...
Tough crowd. It was Boston, so
yeah, it was a tough crowd. Just saying, if you're a wrestling fan of the genre, don't boo. Don't boo. It's not like only boo heels. First of all, boo heels, boo words. But like, if someone messes up something that they could like break their neck doing, maybe just shut up. Like I don't know. I don't know how to help you.
Just be happy no one got hurt. All right. So we get our babyface win. Bianca Belair, Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, Becky Lynch get the win. What do you guys see happening now? We got Survivor Series done. The baby faces won. Malice, what's up, brother? What is our next pay-per-view now, or what are we moving into? What is next? What is it?
Well, I think what's going to happen is definitely Bianca and Rousey are probably gonna. Well, if Charlotte doesn't come back at the Rumble, they're gonna unify the titles. I think that's the only feud you have left for Bianca to do. Especially because Becky is fighting Damage Control, which was her main rival a second ago. I think that they're going to do like a little mini thing at first, for Bianca to like find a girl to fight Ripley, maybe.
Yep.
You know what I mean? She'll beat Ripley because Judgment Day is going to start losing now. So she'll beat Ripley. But then I really think the thing you do is have her and Rousey go at it. Unify the titles and stop pretending.
Yeah, I think that's probably correct. And you mentioned, Becky and Damage Control. Obviously, SummerSlam, we saw Damage Control make their debut. It was right after Bianca and Becky. It looked like they were wrapping up their feud and stuff like that too. And then Becky had to go on the shelf for a little bit. So that makes the most sense. I think we're gonna get some kind of payoff from Mia Yim versus Rhea Ripley. I hope, anyways. Otherwise, it makes no sense because she's been paired with the OC, right? And I mean, that was the next match on this one was
they needed someone to be able to punch Rhea Ripley because
men
can't punch women, even if they're villains on WWE. The only person that can hit a girl is another girl. A girl can hit a guy a lot. Like can go into his house on Thanksgiving and beat him
right in front of his family.
But you can't. But you can. Bad guy, good guy, doesn't matter. You can't.
Doesn't matter. Nope. You can push a woman away, and then you have to realize that you are a disgusting human being for her. Like every time you see a man in WWE push a woman aside or whatever, like as they're fighting, like if somebody like trying to pull away, all of a sudden like they do it, and just all of a sudden. And then it's just raining down boos. It's like, oh, okay, all right.
Although when Randy Orton gave Nia Jax the old RKO,
well, JR, you got to remember that this. I say the asterisk is that these women are white. JR.
Oh, that's right.
you can beat black women and Samoan women up anytime you want to. Come on now, this is wrestling.
Or if you can put them, or in like the example, like maybe China back in the day with when she was in the Rumble and then the IC champ, if they could put the woman side by side to the man, and she has a slight height advantage. Like, we'll kick the shit out of her. She's clearly taller than you, clearly bigger. Then kick the shit out of her. Go ahead.
I mean,
hand, who cares?
I wish TV wise,
up.
Right?
They beat her up.
There you go.
God damn, Badger. Fucking make you a booker too, man. Holy shit.
Oh man. Yeah, yeah. So the women's match, we'll move on from that. What was the second match of that? Did they go into the US title after that?
AJ versus
Finn Balor, which first time that match happened in WWE was in Minneapolis.
It was. I was there.
And you were there, and so was JR and I. So AJ Styles gets the win over Finn Balor. Is this the end of the feud with those guys?
I did not watch Raw, so I could not tell you if they just decided to be done. But I think
so. I think what happened on Raw was that Mia and Rhea, that's nice, were having
new tag team, Mia Rhea.
I got
that
Mia
sounds
Rhea.
too close to diarrhea, and you just can't. You can't.
But anyway, they were having a match, and somehow Ray got involved, and then everybody got all involved, and it ended up being a 4-way with mixed tag rules. But Rhea slammed Gallows again, but then Mia either slammed or gave some move to Balor. So I don't know exactly what the hell's going to happen, but I mean, it doesn't seem like they're done.
Okay. Well, I mean, the OC needs to win and needs to win big, or else they are the worst stable in WWE history. Because every time they're brought in, they just lose. They just we pretend like they don't lose because we like the Bullet Club. Something that I was surprised to hear them mention on air.
I was going to say that too. Yeah,
I was like, what? They said New Japan. They said IGPW champion. They said the Bullet Club just casually. I was like, yo, Michael Cole is not getting fired anytime soon. This man knows where all the bodies are buried. He's like, I'm just going to say whatever I want now.
Well, that was like, I
Vince
guess,
is gone.
like a thing from Triple H coming in was literally, we won't deny the fact that these men have, or women,
Ever
anybody
existed.
has been other places, you know. And but now
They've been
to actually
showing it.
hear, yeah, because they had said that before. I think with an AJ Styles one where
Mhm.
they had mentioned like going to Japan and wrestling in New Japan, and I think even with AJ they mentioned TNA. I don't remember, but somebody else
Yeah.
they had mentioned like New Japan, and I think maybe somebody like ECW or something like that maybe was what they did or whatever. But I
They
don't know.
definitely they were like the fact that they were talking about the IGPW at all was
IWGP.
interesting. IWG, thank you, was crazy. And then when they mentioned the Bullet Club, I actually I sat up. I was like, oh damn, that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. They showed pictures, and I was like, yo, are they just cool with like saying stuff like now? Because then I mean, maybe they just can't call it that anymore, and they want to keep calling it the OC or whatever. But like, why not let them freaking use the stuff? Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
like, you have two of the leaders there, you might as well. But they need to win. They need to beat the Judgment Day, or they won't do this. The Bloodline. Otherwise, why do you keep bringing these people? Why do they keep getting brought out? AJ Styles, you keep bringing these two jobbers to lose. You expect me to think that Carl Machine Gun Anderson is an equal match to Dominic Mysterio? You
No.
what? You telling me
Even
that Gallows has to worry about Rhea Ripley every week? Get him out of here.
well, and you're right actually, because the simple fact
HCW.
is that Carl Anderson and Gallows going back to WWE has fucked up New Japan's booking of the never open weight champion. And there's no way you're telling me the guy who was a current champion over there, where they almost
Mm.
always have some reservation about giving basically a foreigner a title, is somehow on the level of Dominic Mysterio. Like I think you're missing the rungs here. Like, Carl's
Something's
probably
wrong.
about here, not all the way to the
We
top
should.
shelf, but he's like right about
Yeah.
here. And like Dominic is like, at my foot level. Like he's still way too green to be on that level.
But in WWE version of things, Carl Anderson, who is he? Like who are these people? Who cares? Like, and
Right.
He's a
that's what it
small version of
sucks
Luke
because they're
Gallows.
so good. They're so good, but you'll never know it. And the club, the Judgment Day and the OC, two of them, who is the most dominant faction? First of all, you don't get to use the words dominant faction when you have an 800-day reign just across the way and with
Right.
like all the titles at once, and then be like, do these guys in purple and these guys in red, who's the best? And it's like, neither, not even close. They're not even fighting for bronze. Like, it's just weird.
What at this point, actually, with the Usos run too as tag champions, whatever brand they got it off of, I almost feel like one of their titles was won off of Luke Gallows and Anderson, because of the fact like it's been so long since they've held, I believe, the SmackDown championships or whatever, man. But like
Yep.
it's been that long. I mean, and that's really it. They bring in the Good Brothers or whatever, and they're there for
Couple months.
five years or whatever. They win 2 tag championships, and the whole other time they're either trying to party and hang with Finn Balor or hanging out with AJ Styles. It's like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah. And I like how AJ Styles said everyone seems to forget that I brought these dudes here the first time. And I was just like, thank you for at least some continuity so we could pretend like this. And then the whole concept of like, oh, well, AJ, like they're going to figure out who the leader is and da 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 da. It's like nobody thinks that AJ Styles was the original leader of the Bullet Club. Why are you doing this? Like, just
Right.
the story's already there. Just tell the story. You don't have to do this. Oh, yeah. Shout out to
Yeah,
the,
let your
the
10 month
two
old
counts for the
hang
children.
out with us. I'll swear more.
Yeah, but what did
Teach him the
Bullet
right
Club
words,
doesn't.
Tom.
The Bullet Club doesn't have anything left to prove, but they have a mountain left to conquer, and that is the merchandising money that comes with rocking with WWE. They don't have to prove it to anybody. But what I'm saying is that if they could sell Bullet Club merch on WWE.com and rake in that money, because that's really, at this point, that's what Gallows announcers are there for, you know.
Right.
Right.
Because I'm not buying an OC shirt.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm not buying it.
that logo is
It's
ugly.
It's ugly. I'm not buying an OC. I don't like the OC. The OC. Do I look like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed California weirdo? No, I'm not buying a shirt that says OC.
Thank you.
I'm also
man.
yeah, I'm also not buying a Judgment Day shirt because those are also ugly. they're also the Judgment Day shirts, and their whole bit is purple. And I get it. Prince made that work, but y'all are not Prince.
Right.
Yeah. A couple accents of purple is fine, but not like the whole thing, man. Like
What's your guys'
the way
theme?
Finn's
We're
kind of
mean.
doing it. Yeah. The way that Finn's kind of doing with like black pants and like the black sleeves, and then also like the
Yeah.
purple handkerchief, if you will. Like, I mean, it
the
works,
left
man.
side like a Crip. I'm into
Right.
it. It's weird, man.
Yeah, only
Like,
on the
he's
left
wearing
side.
his-
Yeah, that's the Crip side, man.
he comes out like with his weird part of his Party City masks that he's been wearing to all of these pay-per-views, and I'm just like, remember when he used to paint himself and was cool as hell?
Right.
Remember that time where all the lights flickered and he did the weird like floppy fish thing and he got up
Yeah.
and beat up all the Usos and then the rope broke and we never mentioned it again?
Yep.
I do.
Yep.
I've never been so angry. I'm still mad about it. So like the fact
Oh,
that
we're
Finn
seeing it. I love it. I love this heat, man.
the fact that Finn Balor should have lost, good. You know, good. AJ Styles should have beat Finn Balor. We need to start showing the Judgment Day can lose. So like, but it was only because Rhea Ripley was gone. Because Rhea Ripley is
Yep.
the thing that wins it for the Judgment Day. Damian Priest has been falling farther and farther down the relevancy door, and Dominic Mysterio is growing on me. That's my hot take of the Judgment Day.
I'll say this one thing about the match, though, too, that I was really upset by is I don't think AJ Styles has ever won a match with a phenomenal forearm. And for him to win on that, where he gave a forearm and then hit another forearm for the win, either one, Finn Balor was knocked out, which maybe, but to win that way, I don't think I've ever seen that happen with AJ Styles. He has other moves that are way better than that, man.
I mean, they are, but I think they've been pushing that as the finisher.
Maybe, but like, damn, dude.
I just, man, it was an interesting match. I'm glad it went. It wasn't the AJ Styles versus Finn Balor I was kind of hoping for. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
After all
Yeah,
of this time.
It definitely had just a different feel to it.
Yeah. But it was,
That-
it was a match.
Yeah, well, and you got to remember too, the hype for when those two met at TLC, and first time in WWE, and kind of bringing in the whole how these two have crossed paths before outside of WWE, like that was hype, and the fact that wasn't even supposed to be the match, and we got it like kind of last second. So it's hard. It's hard because now you're not looking at that aspect of this match. You're just looking at you got one group against another group, and who's going to be the better group. But I'm with you. Dominic has been growing on me. And to be honest, I think the Rey Mysterio Thanksgiving thing kind of really helped for me put it over the edge because, I like that shit. Like, I liked remember when Triple H went to Orton's house?
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, you all right, Jar? What, you got to go poo?
Hey, I get cramp in my leg.
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
Well, there was actually at one point when you were coming back into your shot and they were showing like Nick Camarado going to the ropes. I almost thought like you were on the ring post for a second. I was like, holy shit, JR is making moves, baby.
Up to the top rope.
JVR is
No,
all
I
elite.
believe you.
JVR. Was it the SmackDown Women's Championship? No, it went to the
Yep.
Austin,
Yep.
right?
No, it was SmackDown.
No,
Was it
women's
SmackDown?
was next.
Okay, so Ronda Rousey defeats Shotzi Blackheart to retain the title with Shayna Baszler by her side. I think we kind of all saw it going this way. Now, me and JR were talking before you two hopped on today and tonight, and I mean, for me, it was just this felt like it was supposed to be Raquel. You know what I mean? Like, I just that or it was what it was. But Shotzi is such an odd choice. I love Shotzi Blackheart, but it's just a title shot at
You do, huh?
Survivor Series. I
What do
like
you
her.
love about
I
Shotzi?
no no no.
What do you
I
like-
like Shotzi because she. Well, to be honest, it was a horrible match for her too. Like that was
Yeah.
just a horrible,
What do you
horrible
like
match.
about her? Like,
I liked I liked when she was in NXT. I liked when she was doing like Evolve. Things were going well for her then. I don't know. She's gotten she's lost in the shuffle right now, and I think not in the ring enough now. And you're seeing that. So, but
Wasn't even a
Shotzi
10-minute match.
it wasn't. No, it was. Well, this was. I hate to say it. This was the break, of the show.
Yeah.
This was the. Let
It
me
was
go use
clear.
the bathroom. Let me
they
go
were
do
chanting
this.
Sasha Banks. We want Sasha. They were chanting it. It was ridiculous.
And
Well,
they were
she is from
booing
Boston,
it too.
so that makes sense, I guess. But
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, are you sure you need to take a break during this match because they had so many fucking commercials or breaks between these fucking matches? I swear to God, like Nerdy, before you got on, man, I told these guys this was the worst fucking pay per view I've ever fucking seen in my life. It was so goddamn boring because there's no fucking rhythm to it. Like, it's one thing if you. Yeah, it's one thing if you finish a match and then you go back to your commentaries to give like the little bit of a wrap up, and then they pitch the next match and stuff like that. You have boom, boom, boom. Like, I couldn't imagine being in the arena for this shit because I would be like, holy fuck, are you kidding me? I paid for this? Like, Jesus, man. Like, let us roll. But this match was fucking terrible. Like, I genuinely believe AJ Styles and Finn was probably actually match of the night, but this was the worst match of the night by far for me. It's just hard to get through.
Yeah, it was worse on the show.
I'm going to give you a controversial opinion to that statement. I liked it. Not because the match was good. I don't think the match is good at all. I'm going to tell you that right now. I don't think the match is good at all. I don't think Shotzi
right now.
Just give me
Because you gave such a smug look on your face when you said this. I'm like, oh, this has to be good. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Finish your statement.
I just say like Shotzi, and we keep saying Shotzi Blackheart, but it's just Shotzi because they're dumb. Because the people doing that are not smart. Shotzi Blackheart, the Blackheart was the best thing about it. Just saying Shotzi sounds weird. Who is that? It sounds like she's a random streamer that no one's heard about.
She's a Pomeranian.
She's just a terrible shot girl at the bar.
Yeah, okay.
Come here, Shotzi. Come on, Shotzi.
Yeah, for real. It sounds like a little dog, a little yippy dog.
Yeah.
That being said, I loved seeing Ronda Rousey have so much fun just being a dick. Like, she knew she won that match.
Sure.
She walked out there being like, I was never gonna lose this match. Like, what are you doing? She's like talking to the people. You thought I was gonna lose this match? Are you kidding? And I was like, that's the Ronda we needed. Ronda looked like she hasn't been in the gym because she doesn't need to be. Because she's Ronda Rousey, and she just walks in and wins her matches and walks out. Her and Shayna Baszler finally teaming up. Thank you. Okay, good. Like, again, should they be tag team champions? Yes. That makes more sense than who's tag team champions now. But whatever. We need to have Ronda look like she can beat anyone in order for a unification match to make any sort of sense. And that is where they're going to go with it. So, who is going to do it? Raquel? No. As much as we like Raquel, she's not there yet. She's just not there yet. And Shotzi certainly isn't there yet. But at least, give her something. Give her something to do. Show the tank. It's War Games. They have a tank on there. For the clips later on, they're going to be like, it's War Games. There's a tank. There's something. So good for her. But the match was bad. Ronda Rousey in it was good. And I liked that.
Well, and the other thing with this match is the whole story to this was Shotzi's defending Raquel, right? This didn't need to be for the title. You're gonna get eyes because Ronda's in it. Period. So this would have sat better for me if it was just a match where that storyline was just a revengeful match. But to put Shotzi in a match on a major thing where it's a title match, it's just like what? Like, I even watching it, I was just like, wait, Okay, I know I'm not completely up to date on everything over the last
That's
few.
what I
but
said,
why,
too.
Why does Shotzi have a title shot already?
And the thing
Well,
is
she
that
beat 5 other women for the
she
shot,
did.
man. Come
She
on.
did. She beat 5
Yeah.
other women. It was like a Jinder Mahal, but went exactly the way you expected it to go. But I will say this about Shotzi and Raquel, and then like obviously with Ronda Rousey, what they could have done and would have been a more interesting thing is be like, if Shotzi wins, Raquel gets a shot at the title.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
not everybody has to go up against for the title. To be like, you hurt my friend. She was supposed to be in this match, but she can't right now. So if I win, she is guaranteed a title shot. Period. Because I'm here for my friend, right? Then, if you have Shotzi win, which you should have done, because if you were gonna push Shotzi, because now Shotzi just looks like a loser. So it's like you could have had her pick up a roll-up victory against the champ. Raquel is still number 1 contender, but now Shotzi is in the wings, can turn heel on Raquel, being like, I'm the one who won the match, I should be the champion. Or Raquel can turn heel on Shotzi and be like, you know, you're not better than me.
Right. Yeah, anything would have been better than what they did.
was
That's
weird.
for sure. It was definitely
weird,
not
but
great.
I'm all for Ronda Rousey, so I'm Team Rousey,
Right.
so that's me.
Yeah, and like you said, the real nice addition too is having Shayna Baszler and her finally being together. Because that's an unstoppable team.
It's an unstoppable team. It should have been happening a long time ago. Last thing about Ronda Rousey, even though she's one of my favorites, she needs a stronger wrestler to be in the ring with her, because she is not good enough to work with someone like Shotzi, who is not is too green. Pardon the pun. Like, I don't know how long she's been in the Indies. I don't know, but
Well,
like,
what do you mean by the hair? What are we talking about here?
yeah, I don't know how long she's been in the Indies. I'm not trying to obviously disrespect her wrestling talent. I'm sure she's very accomplished in what she does. I can't do a front somersault, so I'm not trying to say that she doesn't know how to do what she does. But it requires a certain level of skill to carry someone else through a match, and Ronda needs to be carried because she is not a professional wrestler. So, like, you can't just put someone who's like, well, I'll just do whatever you want to do in the match, because it's going to look like what that match looked like. A lot of weird spots.
Oh, look at this. We got the commercial for the AEW game. Look at this.
Ooh, yeah, I saw that. Oh, that's so ugly.
That
I
does
can't
look
wait
Yeah,
to play
MJF
that
did
game.
not come out well.
So it's THQ, right? That did the old WCW games that were on like Nintendo 64, if I remember correctly.
Well, they also
Oh,
did like
it's so
some of that
gross.
early WWE attitude stuff.
Yeah, I mean they were
Yeah.
THQ was
Oh, they know it's bad. They gotta know it's bad, but they can't talk about it. They're just
you
like,
think-
we might as well try it.
I mean, they got a lot of hands on this game, also though, that are talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
So I wonder if that's gonna maybe leave it to the pros, guys.
look at it. Look at it. Like, we could talk about a lot of stuff, but just look at it. It's not looking good.
Ukes. No, it does not. We're gonna move along though on the Survivor Series. We get the United States Championship match: Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, 3-way dance, and Austin Theory pulls it off. Yeah, I hate that he won, which means I liked it.
Yeah. I would say
Exactly.
this. I would say out of the matches that were on this card, I would say this was probably the second best one.
I would agree. That took the silver for me too. It was exactly what it should have. It was exactly what it should have been. Everybody looked strong.
Yeah,
Everybody
Yeah, they
won.
really
Like,
did.
it's rare you get a triple threat where everyone is booked strong. Bobby Lashley speared Seth Rollins, so he got the win. You know what I mean? Obviously, Austin walks away with the strap. He looks good, and Seth Rollins gets beat up by somebody else, and that's the only reason why he lost. He looks strong. Like, everybody looks strong in that end of that match. I don't know. I think it was good. I thought it was great.
HCW, I'm not necessarily going to save this take. Here's my problem with this match: is
Hit me.
it started off with basically Lashley and Rollins treating Theory like an afterthought, like throwing him out of the ring and all that sort of shit.
As they
Which he
should.
kind of is, because he's not to their level as far as probably
Correct.
guys in the back, maybe, or even like fans aren't thinking that he should win this one. I mean, it was kind of like a fluke thing that he won the U.S. title in the first place, or won
Right.
Money in the Bank, because it's like, all right, this is not
He definitely
our
should
guy.
have
This
won
is
Money in the Bank in the first place.
yeah, like this is Vince's guy. We all kind of know that, but this just proves that the secondary titles are garbage. Because I don't even know who the Intercontinental Champion is right now.
Gunther.
Because who? Oh,
Gunther.
Gunther. Okay. Yeah. See, I
Match of the
yeah, I
year with
can't.
Sheamus. Are you kidding me? How do you not remember
Okay. Well, I mean, because I couldn't remember. Like literally tonight, I was like, "Who the fuck is the Intercontinental Champion right now?" I couldn't.
Oh, quit whining, old man.
that? Oh, no.
That's that.
The
You know what?
pot,
That's a
the
fair
kettle.
comeback on that one, Jr.
Mhm.
That's fair.
They're
I'll give you
coming
that.
to me.
You talk to me like that again, though, we might have real issues. Anyhow,
Yeah.
it's so clear and obvious to me that I think Seth Rollins has to be the next guy to face Reigns, because nothing came out of War Games, like not to skip ahead or anything like that, but nothing came out of that War Games match that means anything other than he has to go face his old Shield brethren, because they did mention the Shield making their debut 10 years ago
Dean Ambrose
at
behind
Survivor
me.
Series. Yeah.
Crazy.
And so I genuinely believe that that's why they had to pull it off of Seth, because it doesn't make sense to have champion versus champion, because, well, I mean, not in the modern WWE
Give him all the
era.
belts. Give him all the belts.
Yeah. I mean,
have him be the Intercontinental
That's how you-
champion. Have him take all
that's
the
a
belts.
proper reset right there. It's not some weird Vince Russo WCW bullshit. It was like, well, we're just going to take all the titles and we're going to have fucking tournaments for everything. Oh, okay. Sure. Fucking
Yeah.
anyhow.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you're
I did.
not wrong.
Yeah, the one thing I did like about this match was how awkward and weird that finish ended up being, where I'm like, all right, that doesn't sit poorly with me, because that would be the only way I'm okay with Theory winning this, other than the fact that it's like, okay, so he fell weird and he got the victory. Like, even Bobby Lashley, like, all this work for fucking nothing. Like, yeah, all that work for fucking nothing, dude. Congrats, dude. It happens. Wrestling,
But
baby. But
But it's such a beautiful way to build Austin Theory.
Yeah.
It can
Because that's
be.
his whole bit. I think Austin Theory, here we go. Another hot take. I think Austin
Got
Theory is like how Rocky Maivia was.
Yeah.
I think
I agree
he
with
is
that.
how Roman Reigns used to be. I think he is the company man. Everybody can
Yep.
smell it on him. They could smell it on him back when Vince was in control, but there was nothing that anybody could do. But now that Vince is not in control, they buried that kid. Like on promo after promo, they buried him. He kept missing his chance to cash in the title, and then he tried to cash it in and lost it. Became one of 5 people to not win, with the Money in the
Yep.
Bank thing. And
Also,
it's just-
wasn't he the only one that challenged for not one of the main
Right.
championships too?
Yeah, like it just so they clearly they downgraded him so much, and I was like, as somebody who knows that it wasn't his fault that Vince took a liking to him. Like he
Yeah.
just was playing the role. I'm glad that he got this win in the way that he did, and have them start shifting. They didn't even have a display for him when he walked out. It was Beyblades in the background. Like, you know what I mean? Like this kid got his feet fucking buried. Like it was so sad. And so I was like, because when I saw him come out and it was just a Beyblade commercial in the background, I was like, man, this kid pissed in somebody's coffee. Like, holy fuck is this kid? Like, what did he do? Did he walk around being like, you can't touch me, Vince McMahon likes me. Nothing's ever going to happen to Vince McMahon. They probably leaked all that info just so they could get at Theory. That's like his energy right now.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he got the title. But that being said, like Top Shelf was saying, the secondary titles need to be the most important things on their shows because we have the main titles on Roman. Roman is a show in of himself. So we need to make sure that the United States Championship and the Intercontinental Championships are the biggest things on their respective shows. When Seth had it, it was. When Bobby Lashley had it, it could be if they talked about it correctly. When
Right.
Theory has it, it will not be. It just will not be. And that is unfortunate. That's why, you know what I mean? I'm glad he won it. I'd like to see where it goes. I saw that they're feuding again. Seth and Theory are still feuding. Outside of that, though, I'm just like, I don't think I care too much. I don't believe that Austin Theory beats Seth Rollins on his best day. So it doesn't make sense to me.
Now, real quick, I have to point out to everybody, and this is something that everyone needs to keep in mind, is we're in a period, too, where not much will make sense because we're about to hit January, which is Rumble, which is where that's where it really takes off. That's where you're going to start seeing the Mania being laid down. So really, we're in that like month and a half period right now of like we're just trying to get to the Rumble to really start seeing the plans come together for the big show in April. So, I mean, I don't expect much out of them right now because of that. Like I told JR, we talked about the Bray stuff. I don't expect to see that fully come together till Mania, and it is going to be a slow burn, which is why we didn't see Bray or LA Knight on this pay-per-view, and I guess we'll see them. Now, are they doing... Right. Are we going to see day one, though? Is that still an event? Because that was in...
I thought they got rid of that.
Okay, so we're going straight to the Rumble, I think, then. I don't believe there's
Rumble
a
is on the
December...
28th.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think they're going to go for a holiday, let the people have their holidays. I think that Bray comes in the Rumble. I think if Bray doesn't win the Rumble, it needs to be Cody Rhodes or Randy Orton. Like, who else are you going to have? Sami Zayn. This is the only other person I would have in that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, real
Let's
quick
talk about
here. You want to get into it? Let's get into the
I
last
think we
match
get
there.
into it.
So we have the men's war game match. Obviously, the Bloodline, which is the Usos, Roman Reigns, Solo, as well as Sami Zayn, honorary Uso, taking on the Brawling Brutes, Sheamus, Butch, and Ridge Holland, as well as Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens. Now, again, just by seeing the names, you know this is going to be a good match to watch, just because, well, the Brawling Brutes are always a good time to watch in the ring, because, Jesus. Kevin Owens, in my eyes, can do no wrong. Apparently, he did some wrong in that match, according to Roman, though. So that's something. And I'm curious to see if that'll ruin anything, because I think Kevin Owens has some sort of something to do with all this in the Bloodline, obviously, with Sami Zayn. And that's the thing with this match that we were talking about, is this match really did revolve around the Bloodline and that whole storyline. All eyes were on Sami. And I'll tell you what, it's the way it should be. It was a great... This whole storyline was fun till the end of that match. I mean, it's just... I hate Roman Reigns. I always have. But, I mean, man, I love the Bloodline. And I love Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is really just making this something. You know what I mean? But the fact is, like, you know this is going to end eventually. And that's where we're at. And that's why it's like, oh, we're starting to see it. And it's just really exciting.
I think the thing for me, real quick, that's the most interesting is the things that I remember about this match are 100% Sami Zayn centric. Okay.
Yes.
And I know that Drew McIntyre was in that match, but I don't remember a damn thing he did. You know,
I do.
I mean, there was stuff going on, but it was all, like you said, it was all absolutely 100% geared toward the Bloodline. And the only thing that I was really kind of excited for was KO. Pete Dunne, good Lord, what a little bulldog. Not a huge fan of Ridge Holland, but Sheamus and McIntyre were there, but it's like they were there as filler, you know?
That's 100% correct. I will say it again. Drew McIntyre must have, I don't know, taken a big dump in someone's oatmeal, because that guy held that company down through the lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
He has never recovered. Like, never,
How dare you be our champion when no one's here?
And no one's here. He wins his first out of two championships. One of the only ones that actually like had no one around in an empty arena. Won his second one in the Thunderdome, if I remember correctly. So again, no live people, and then he is in the. This dude is just getting thrown away, in little pieces every time. Because if you're trying to tell me that Solo Sikoa is a match for Drew McIntyre, that is a demotion of Drew McIntyre, not a promotion for Solo Sikoa. And I like Solo Sikoa, but it's just like we don't know him. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we watch NXT, you can know him from there, but even then, he never won a title. No, he was in the North American, but like
North American for like a day. Yeah.
Yeah, for a day. And we didn't even see a Claymore. Thank you. He didn't even get to do his finisher.
Nope.
Like, so it was just like, what are you doing? What is he doing here? This is just, it's your boy. The image of the whitest guys ever just beating the mess out of this mostly black family. I remember, and like they're just like holding them by their chest, and they're all just beating them, and everyone's like, "Yeah!" And I remember for a second that I was like, "I don't know if I like this." I don't really know if I like this.
There's a reason, because it was happening in Boston, and Marky Mark had never went to jail for what he did and shit like that. So just remember all that, guys. Look it up if you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I ain't gonna talk about it here, but it is Boston, baby.
I was laughing. I was like, man, Sami Zayn, the diversity hire Sami Zayn is
he's Syrian.
Thing about that.
So
really? I didn't know that.
He's French Canadian, but he's Syrian. It's the ginger, man. Like if you have red hair, man, you are generally fucking pale, so you can look like goddamn anything. Look at Ace. He's like half Mexican, and you would never fucking tell, right?
Yeah, true story. True story.
That's real.
It is. I think Sammy's also half Muppet. He just looks like a freaking Muppet. But you're right.
His older brother.
You're right. I mean, one of the best things about this match, and the fact that, again, we all have the things that we...
Yuck. Gingers, go fuck yourself, HCW.
Shut up, HCW. What are you doing, HCW? What are you doing?
He's a fan of the Death Eaters.
Oh, my goodness. No, because I always loved Kevin Owens when it was Kevin Steen, Al Generico, all that stuff. So to know that we've never had Owens and Sammy done right in WWE, I guess you could say. They've had their brushes, they've had their feuds, but I don't think they've ever been like, you two have a program, here's how long it's going to be, it's going to stretch over this much time. We're going to let you two kind of give us input on this because you've done it so many times in ROH perfection that let's see what they can do. And we haven't seen that yet. So this is the closest I think we're seeing where you're kind of seeing like, well, wait a minute, is KO influencing Sammy and we don't know all about it? Like, what's really going on? But I mean, I think at the end of the day, what this does though, is it really does set up that Sammy by Mania, depending on how they do this, could be the guy to take the title off Reigns if they want.
I mean,
that's what
he needs to win it. Like, and either win it or cost Roman the win. It's really the only thing you can do at this point because he's so over. Because he like JR was saying, he was the match. Like, there really isn't anything you can else talk. The whole storyline was, is Sammy gonna portray the bloodline? Not whether they were gonna win or lose, because it didn't matter if they won or lost. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like, nothing was on the line. So it was just like, will Sammy betray the bloodline? I wish they would have waited a little bit longer to do that. Because, again, like you said, Ace, sow that seed. Give us like a month of KO, like doing stuff, having KO do something like I want a tag team partner for a random tag team match, and I get to pick my partner, and I pick Sami Zayn, and you can't not do it because you have no reason to not do it, and so you have to tag with me. We have to show the casual fans that we're friends, that we work well together, like see them in their element. Sammy being like, I remember how fun this used to be. I remember what it was like when I wasn't an honorary Uso. And then you introduce the betrayal of Kevin Owens. Because Kevin Owens has only been back for like a month, 2. He was only back like 2 SmackDowns ago. So like for us to be like, oh, you can't both tell us to not remember anything that happened previously and then build a whole storyline on the years of friendship these people have without showing it to us. Like, I know it, you know it, but if you've never watched wrestling before and you're just a casual fan, he's just a guy.
Yeah, and that's, Badger, that's the wild card about Sammy and this whole thing is this could go either way. I mean, he could have turned at Survivor Series, and he didn't. And he took Owens out, and it was a great. It was a good way to end that. That was how you needed to end it. Seeing him and Jay, smooth everything over and hug. Which I don't know. I like those two fighting more than I'm probably gonna like those two being on the same team because it just. I mean, let's be honest. We got some of the best stuff out of that. We would have never had Usi if. If we didn't have those two not liking each other on that team. So I'm all for this, though. Like, this is very entertaining stuff they're doing with the Bloodline.
Yeah. I think that Sammy needs to be the one to turn. Anyway, keep going.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. 100%.
I was just going to say at the end of that match, though, too, this is one of the reasons I think it turned this match from a potential, like, B+, A- for me to, like, maybe a B- at best. Is how it finished, and I don't care. Like as far as the nut shot. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert: if you haven't seen fucking Survivor Series, which you knew we were all going to be fucking covering anyways, so get over yourself. But yeah, to give the nut shot to KO, and then the hula kick, that's great. I don't mind all that, and then dropping on the canvas so Jay could hit the splash on him. Cool. Pick up the pin. But with all the stuff from the time where KO is trying to pin Roman Reigns and Sammy gets over there and holds up the referee's arm, which, by the way, one of my favorite things of all time to stop a 3 count. Holy shit, dude. Like, that is fucking awesome. And it makes sense in war games.
Yeah.
But for everybody to be basically dead and this long progression of shit, I have not seen anybody be that down for that long since Booker T took that fucking pedigree. Let's be real. No one's been that dead forever. Are you kidding me? And you're saying that no one can get up and stop all this shit from Team Brawling Brutes and shit like that? No one.
Again, that's what I said.
Fuck you. It's ridiculous. It took way too long at the fucking end for me to be like, I'm like, come on. At least some reality. So like. Everybody's dead. Everybody.
Because again, maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember what took them out.
Right.
Like, I don't remember what took them out. It wasn't a spear. It wasn't like no. Somebody I think Butch got hit with the 1D. But like, okay, so that's why he's out. He got an avalanche 1D from the top. Okay, fine. Set him down. But Ridge, Sheamus, former multiple time world champion Sheamus, multiple time world champion Drew McIntyre. What are they doing while all this story is going on? And it's because their storylines didn't matter, which is another reason why I thought that the War Games match of the men was a missed opportunity to bring in some other superstars that could have Roman Reigns on the slab. He needed a nap.
No, I mean, he hit the stunner. He hit the stunner.
Get him with some milk. Because hear me out, right? The Brawling Brutes are boring. I'm sorry. The most interesting thing about him is when when freaking Michael Cole yells out, "It's fight night." It's the most interesting thing about their group. What is their bit? They like to fight.
Right.
This is
Yes.
a combat sport thing that
Yep.
everyone here likes to do that. It's weird that that's your thing. Your shirt is beige and yellow, or like it's ugly. You're wearing your hats. Butch, his name is Butch, is dumb. And
It
then
is.
Sheamus, and you come out to Sheamus' song, and just Sheamus' backdrop everywhere. It's just Sheamus. Just leave them at home.
Thank you.
I
Thank
get
you for
so
saying all this
angry.
because these guys were
I
doubting
get-
me when I said all this shit about Butch and shit like that too. Like, he needs to be Pete Dunne. I don't care, man. Like, he's way more popular as Pete Dunne. I swear
Well,
to God.
he doesn't want to be though.
He
He doesn't
his
like
choice.
he doesn't like Pete Dunne. He likes Butch.
Maybe
I-
for this
I-
character.
because right now he doesn't have to talk. He
Yeah.
doesn't have to do anything other than run in and wrestle. And you know what? Get your paycheck, dude. But honest
Right.
to
Yeah.
goodness, it's very Nikki Cross for me, where it's just like, how are you getting everywhere? I'm suspending my disbelief, but you're just a violent monster. You'd be arrested. I mean, so how are you getting around from show to show? Rich Holland is a slab of mayonnaise. It is the most boring man in the world. And I didn't know it wasn't his fault. I know it wasn't his fault. But every time I see him, I think of Big E. Every time I see him, I think of every time he does a move, every time he does a thing, my thought is like, huh? Like every time I'm like, hopefully nobody gets crippled for life. Like that's like every time I see him. So it's just like,
Right.
just get him out. You could have had Ricochet in that match. You could have had Ali in that match. You could have had, I'm just Shelton Benjamin, just off the top of my freaking head. Let's start Belton Mania, please. Why the Brawling Brutes? I get that there are 3 of them and you wanted a group to fight the other group, but they already lost. So why are they doing that? It's for no titles. I'm so mad.
Well, and that's what happens when they're just literally trying to build the bloodline storyline in this match. Like, you just got bodies in there to be some of these
It's
fillers.
just bodies to be bodies. And KO got,
Yeah.
like, again, KO is being used incorrectly. Incorrectly. It special ref, something, anything other than what he's doing. Like, and I love Kevin Owens. It's just that he's not being used correctly. Sami Zayn is gonna, if he's not the one to win the Rumble, which I think he should, like he's now he's my number 2 pick to win the Rumble. Like
Is Cody number 1?
Cody, I Bray's number 1.
Oh, okay.
I know he won't because they're just gonna like make him a creepy dude. But like I think that Bray should win the Rumble because again, we need a reason for him to like just go after Roman Reigns. And granted, he could just do it, but I like the idea of him like it's a huge thing, and Roman's like, I'm not scared of him. I'm not scared of Bray, and we get this whole thing we've been leading up to. Like, I want that. Because otherwise, like, where else are you going to unleash it? And we would believe it if Bray came back and beat Roman Reigns after all of this time. You know what I mean? So I'll give him that. My second choice is Sami Zayn. He wins the Rumble. Like, it's Sami and Jay and Owens and, like, I'm trying to think of who else would be at the Final 4. Someone dumb. Rollins, right? Rollins takes out
Someone
Jay.
dumb.
I'm just talking about someone who
Theory.
doesn't, someone,
Theory.
Yeah, Theory.
So somehow
yeah.
Theory makes the Final 4.
He, Roman, Jay throws out Theory, right? Freaking, it's Jay and Sammy, Cody and Owens at the end, right? Everyone's going crazy. Fucking Kevin Owens throws out Cody Rhodes. Everyone's like, oh my God. Jay throws out Kevin Owens. Everyone's like, oh my God. And then Sami Zayn throws out Jay. And then like everyone goes nuts. Like because he just threw out Jay and won because they're friends now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, it'd be this whole thing was just be like, oh, we were going to talk about it. We were going to have a conversation. And it's all this other stuff. And he just throws him out. And then he wins the Rumble. And everyone's like, oh, my God. And, yeah. And then he has to face Roman. You know what I mean? And he has to, contractually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because, Jay's faced Roman before. So, I mean, right before the Bloodline, right? So, I mean, it would make sense to go back on something like that.
Well, and I had it pegged that Owens is kind of in on this with Sammy, and the whole thing is they're going to take the titles off the Usos. But I mean, over the last month, it's like Sammy could legitimately pull that title off Reigns now.
Yeah, just
like,
have him win it.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine that pop if Sami Zayn pins Roman Reigns to become champ at like Mania?
They have to give him different music, though. They'd have to give him different music.
Oh,
it's true.
It'd be so
Can't
good.
have him go back to that fucking ska.
So
I will say
overall,
this.
go ahead.
I was just going to bring up, like, NUR-D said it best, too, as far as, like, why are we picking the Brawling Brutes for this match? You have so many other options. That's one thing that I've said for a while is Survivor Series was supposed to be a way of introducing some people. Like, again, you saw Undertaker's debut at Survivor Series. You saw a lot of, like, The Rock's was at Survivor Series. The Shield was at Survivor Series because it's supposed to be a way of introducing people when you have the traditional style matches. The story that the women told outside of the weapons could have been done just as easily and effective in a Survivor Series match as it was in War Games. The men's, especially the low blow, probably, unless the referees has their back turned, then that's elimination or whatever. But it could still been told in a traditional style where maybe the bloodline just runs through everybody and it's down to, say, Sheamus and KO or whatever. And maybe KO is just like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care if it's 5-on-2, and then maybe he just stuns Sheamus and allows them to pin him and be like, yeah, 5-on-1 motherfuckers, like just an idea and stuff like that. But again, different stories, but that's why I've always been a fan of the traditional styles, because you get to see new people. You get the introductions. It's the same thing with the Royal Rumble, like, again, NUR-D said, where now I'm showing people 60 different superstars.
Yeah.
Pick one. You're going to like one of them. And it's almost the same thing you could have done. And they're never going to go back to a completely traditional Survivor Series. It's never going to happen. I get that.
And the reason for that, Tom, is because they don't write freaking storylines that make that a feasible end or anything.
Right.
And there's
and I understand that. You're completely right.
Series. Like, again, again, make it have weight. I get fighting for fighting's sake. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
That can be a story. I just want to beat you up so bad, and I will take any match I can to do that. But none of these people are that angry at the Bloodline to do that. Drew McIntyre could have been, if this was right after the Clash at the Castle. That could have been a version of that, but you squandered that. So now he's just in the back of the line because he was fighting with Cross before. You know what I mean? So now he's just a guy who just, I also don't like Roman Reigns. I'm also kind of annoyed that he's the best. Like, you know what I mean? You could have had the New Day in there because they just beat them for the record. You know what I mean? I mean, it's the same old people, but at least it makes more sense than the Brawling Brutes does. It's just people in a match at that point. So it's just like, but at the end of the day, what did it gain anyone? If they would have won, the Bloodline still has all their titles. Nothing's changed. So, like, the Survivor Series, it used to be about brand supremacy. That was the concept. And back when the brands meant something, it was a thing. Now that the brands are a little bit more loose, it's a little bit more of like just like a when you tune in sort of thing. You need to give Survivor Series weight. Have it be the winner of like whatever brand wins gets the main event spot at Mania, or everybody in the match gets like $10,000, like
$1,000 would mean something to maybe some of us, but
yeah, but you know what I mean. Like say $100,000 to split between them, something that would make us as like an audience be like, I could see why they would want to kill themselves to do that,
right?
Because like these guys are like, you're throwing them off in cages. Why would I do that just to beat up a guy who I'm just gonna fight next week again?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any intellectual sense.
Mm-hmm.
So they all kind of look stupid.
And some of the old school stuff, you know, where like where you have like Hogan has to go find his 3 other people because he's facing like King Kong Bundy, and King Kong Bundy has found all these giants to be on his team. You just don't see that kind of stuff anymore, where this could have been a perfect vehicle, a traditional style match for like a guy like Omos, where you pair him with other giants and they're taking on guys who are supposed to be the fodder. And then, somehow they get elimination against Omos or whoever else, you know, like, again, you just find that way of telling that story, but it builds into other things because you can lead out a Survivor Series and still go through Rumble, because you're going to have other matches on Rumble where, okay, yeah, everybody can still be in the Rumble. You can still have 30 guys who are still in maybe other matches because you finished the night with a Rumble, right? So they're in other matches because now we got something that's at least feeding some of these rivalries with these traditional matches where, okay, these guys weren't fighting, but then they went back and forth so hardcore during Survivor Series. Well, hell, that fucking lead up to Royal Rumble, maybe they don't see each other very often. Like maybe one guy is all of a sudden on the shelf for 2 weeks. Shoulders tweaked, but the doctor said I got to be out for 3 weeks. Hey, 3 weeks from now, man, you and me face to face or whatever. I mean, that's how you used to build it. And I feel like it's a missed opportunity without having some of these traditional style matches, whether it be brand versus brand or, hey, you go find 3 of your buddies, I'll find 3 people to fight with me. We'll fucking just duke this shit out. Who cares, man? Some of those matches used to be fucking insane. Like, why did Vader have to fight anybody? It's just like, it's fucking Vader, dude. Like, nope, he has to go find 3 guys. Figure it out, dude. It's like, dude, that's fucking, I miss it, man. I miss some of those like nice early to mid 90s, man.
Yeah, give us a story on why these 5 people need to fight the bloodline more than just because Sheamus told us to.
Yeah. Oh, you're the top guy.
All right. They did fracture Sheamus's elbow. Come on, let's. I mean, while he was getting married. But let's be honest.
Yeah.
So here's another thing. This is something that I noticed. So the pay-per-view premium live event started at 7:00 and got over at about 10:15.
Yep.
So a little bit over 3 hours. There was exactly 118 minutes of actual wrestling in that 3 hours. This is one of the, so we have both ends of the spectrum, right? We have an AEW pay-per-view that is just chock loaded with stuff, and it's too much. And then we have this where there's so many recaps and so much of this that there's just, they could have had that show in 2 hours. I don't think anybody would have been upset.
I mean, at that point, just add another match. You know what I mean? Like, cut all that, all those vignettes down. Cut all the. Right?
Why do you have every title why do you have every title shown but the Intercontinental Championship? Right? Mm-hmm. Give him a match, even against anybody. Literally against anybody.
Well, and why did we need? See, I was trying to fast forward through everything. Like that's the joy of watching this later, is because then you can just fast forward through so many things. And I was trying to time it right, because sometimes that Peacock on like Roku, it doesn't give you where you're supposed to be. Like it won't show you where you're trying to stop. So I'm fast forwarding that cage coming down for that men's Royal Rumble or War Games match. First of all, why did it take so fucking long? I mean, come on, seriously, fucking 3 minutes of this drop and shit, and then you see all this fucking steam coming up and shit like that. It's like, it's not bursting a fucking water pipe, man. It's fucking just dropping a goddamn cage. Bring it down, dude.
It's war games, man. There's the smoke because it's war games.
Well, then fucking Blair War Pigs from Black Sabbath,
They were
man.
playing
Just
the
fucking
siren.
blast the shit out of that, dude.
Yeah, they're playing the sirens. They always play the
war
siren.
games 19 times.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
did.
they refused to stop playing it.
They did.
They were getting their money's worth out of that. I laughed because it was. You could tell that the reason that they did that was because Osborne would only let them use war games if he was allowed to promote his new album that they said, oh yeah, this is one of the official songs of this too. Yeah, from the new album. Anyway, here's War Pigs, 18 million.
Yeah. Well, and I guess
I do like War Pigs, but like, yeah,
it didn't work out. I guess it didn't work out date wise. I guess, but they were really pushing to have Ozzy there to perform it too. I guess.
Oh yeah, it was like, hey, do you guys want to hear? You want to hear War Pigs 17 more times? Well, I sure do. And
well, here's Ozzy Osbourne.
Let's be honest. It was much better to have him lip sync it than it would have been to have him sing it live.
It would have been.
Having
It would have been.
met
Everyone
Ozzy-
would have been sad.
Having met
Well,
Ozzy and having him not even know that there were other human beings there, and this was quite a while ago too. He ain't all there.
Well, no,
Glacier is official sponsor. Icy
It's,
Hot.
so if you remember him from,
Icy
if you
Hot.
remember him from,
Brilliant, Badger, brilliant.
way to bring it all around. No, if you remember Ozzy from like that TV show he did with the family and all, he was on some fucking crazy ass fucking medication, man. It sounds like he's much better now as like live performances. He remembers his words and shit like that. He's not fucking stammering and bumbling through shit.
Good
Like,
for him. I'm glad that he's being undrugged, but I just
figure, right?
ultimately- Yeah, go figure. I for the whole pay-per-view, really, and again, as a official ambassador to WWE in the Midwest area, I have certain I will watch what I say to a certain extent, but I will say that I was a little bit let down overall with how much I love war games in NXT. To be able to see, I was actually really excited to be like, oh, we can get the main roster guys to show us what war games is all about. But then I remembered that the reason that war games at NXT is so good are that these kids down there are like, if I don't get noticed, I will never work in this town. And so they're going to do nonsensical things in order to get over, while these older guys were like, you want me to do what? I need a trash can over my head and jump off of what?
Right. You hear what happened to Orton? I ain't being that guy now.
Yeah, like, no. I'll let you, stomp on my hand a lot. That's what I'll let you do.
By the way, that move, fucking boy, that irritated me. How much fucking Butch was able to just manipulate Jay's hand and arm, and like, Jesus Christ, it's fucking boring. And you're right. You know what?
I like it. I like it. I like when he does that joint
I'm
stuff.
sorry.
One-on-one, it's fine. But in where you got fucking this match, like, dude, you can't do that in war games. You don't have the fucking time, and like, it just doesn't make sense.
And you don't have the time. You have nothing but time. He had 5 minutes to do whatever.
Again,
and that's just till the next person comes in.
The calf crusher is a finishing move, and this guy prying your fingers open is just something he does, like, in the middle of a match. Like, you can tell that some of these wrestlers have never been in a real fight. I'm just throwing it out there. Not saying that Pete Dunne or Butch has never been in a real fight. I'm just saying that, like, if someone had your fingers and pulled them as hard as they could in opposite directions, the fight is over. The fight is over for you. Like, you're done. You're done fighting. I've seen worse happen to people. It is ridiculous. So it's like, just stop pretending. Either have that be his finishing hold, where he grabs their fingers and they tap out, or stop pretending like he's gonna do this every single match. It's ridiculous.
Hey, thanks, team, for being here. Appreciate it. And one thing too is, you're talking about as far as, they're like, oh, you want me to do what? they're also like, hey, Ridge Holland is this match. You're like, oh, you want me to take a suplex from Ridge Holland? Go fuck yourself. All right. I saw the last time you fucking tried to do that shit.
I
Get
didn't even
the
want to take a
fuck
drop
out of
kick
here.
from that fucker.
I was just like the whole time, every time he did something, I was tense. And also, it would be different. And I would sound like Quagmire from the episode of Family Guy, so you guys can quote me. If you weren't such a bore, like I could. If Finn Balor accidentally broke Bicky's neck, I would be like, well, shit happens. Like, I'd be like,
Yeah, because it would have been some other move, though. It would have been him like a weird belly to belly over the top suplex. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Like even Scott Steiner didn't deliver the belly to belly over the fucking head. He would go side slam or like side belly to belly, man. Like it's a dangerous fucking move if you don't think the guy can rotate.
No, I get what you're saying though. If it was someone who like this was a legitimate accident,
yeah,
like that guy's talented, it just was a mishap. But yeah, like you said, yeah, it's a guy who's like, well, I mean, he probably doesn't even need to be in this match in the first place.
I would take, it would take 100 Ridge Hollands to equal one half of the charisma that Big E has in his left nut. And so it's just like for someone to still be on television night after night. And what does he do? What's his finishing move? What does he like to do? What does he say? His job is to be the other, not Sheamus. At least Butch is the crazy little Nikki Cross version of that group. What is Ridge Holland other than not Sheamus guy? It's dumb. Take him out. I'm sick of him.
When Michael Cole was trying to push this whole Ridge the Fridge thing, I was like, I remember a guy called the Fridge. He used to run through fucking defensive lines as a defensive lineman to score touchdowns in the Super Bowl that should have gone to Walter Payton. Go fuck yourself, all right? I remember some shit from the '85 Chicago Bears. Get out of here, man! Like
Walter Payton wasn't the Fridge.
No,
he's saying that William
Refrigerator
Perry
he stole what should have been Walter Payton's touchdown.
But the Fridge was also in the
Super Bowl.
The Fridge was also in the very first Royal Rumble.
He was.
Oh, really?
Yes, he was.
I didn't know that.
There was a few NFLers that were in the very first Royal Rumble.
Well, they had to.
Who was it? It was Big John Studd and the Fridge actually, because Fridge Perry eliminated Big John Studd.
Yeah.
And it turned into like a little thing for a minute out there. It was pretty entertaining.
Good. And again, another, what would have been, I know he got hurt. I know he got hurt really bad. But Logan Paul would have been better than Ridge Holland.
And you kind of wonder if he wasn't hurt after the Crown Jewel, if he would have been in this. And to be honest, I'd been all for it. Oh, by far. Do you think
still had the brawling brutes though? He'd have taken McIntyre's place.
Do you think we'll eventually? Right. Yeah. Do we think we'll eventually see the Paul brothers hold the tag titles in WWE? You don't think so?
I don't think. I think only Logan wants to do it. You know what I mean? I think he's the only one who likes it. I don't think the other guy wants to do it. He wants to keep pretending to be a boxer. So, that's what he wants to do. I think Logan Paul is having fun doing this, though I will say they need to turn him heel in order for them to get the reaction they want. Because face Logan Paul does not work. It does not work. And especially against Roman Reigns. I know I didn't get to talk to you guys about Crown Jewel, but that whole feud was very odd because here you have Sami Zayn, which almost effectively turns most of the bloodline face because everyone loves Sami Zayn so much that when Jimmy high fives Sami Zayn, he gets a babyface rub. When Solo Sikoa acts like Sami Zayn's like a cool guy, he gets the babyface rub. When Roman and Heyman talk about how great Sami Zayn is, they get a babyface rub. So the only person who gets heel heat, which we saw in the match actually, when he super kicked Sami Zayn, was Jay. When everyone was shouting "You're an asshole" at him, after kicking Sami Zayn, literally. So it was just like. So then Logan Paul comes in as like, "I'm gonna beat you guys. I'm gonna beat you up, Roman Reigns." Everyone's like, "We don't want you to beat up Roman Reigns. We don't mind that Roman Reigns is the best because Sammy loves him so much, and why would you beat up Sammy's boyfriend?
Right.
That's so mean. That's a mean
That's
thing
very
for you
true.
to do, Logan Paul. So make him heal. Make him heal. Make him hate everybody. Make him be the influencer outsider that Austin Theory's character pretty much was being. Just have it be
Right.
Logan Paul. Could you imagine if they had taken that gimmick for Austin Theory, the selfie gimmick, and put it on Logan Paul instead? Every time Logan Paul beats one of these jobbers, he clicks it on his actual social media, his actual
Yeah.
millions and millions and millions of followers. Every
Mhm.
time he's in the ring, he's tagging WWE. Y'all are freaking pay me. Pay me. Listen to me right now.
Before we take any more steps here,
Before I take any more steps, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take Ridge Holland. I want you to put him in a box, and I want you to put that box in another box, and I want you to put that where they put the Ark of the Covenant at the end of Indiana Jones. just take that, take it away. Give Shotzi her last name back, please. It's weird. I'm going through all the things from the Survivor Series. Give the name back. For the love of God, somebody give Bobby Lashley something real to do.
Yeah.
It's starting to get silly. It's starting to get silly.
Bring the Hurt Locker back.
Yeah, bring back the hurt business.
The Hurt Business.
The Hurt Locker.
Give us the
Or
Hurt
Hurt
Business.
Business, whatever. Yeah,
I
sorry.
understand that Shelton Benjamin. I understand that Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander are like, who cares where they are, and you've broken them up and put them together so many times at this point. And MVP is doing Omos shit now. I get it, but you know what would be awesome if you just took the Hurt Business with Omos as a member and had them fight the Bloodline. They're the only team left. And again, Shelton Benjamin deserves his goddamn flowers now. And so if you're having the Usos beat the New Day's record, which I was furious about, you need give it to Shelton Benjamin. The man has worked. He has earned it. Like, he should. You can't just push him up to the top right away. You can't have him win the Rumble. I get that. I understand that. I mean, I would love it, and I think the world would go fucking nuts. But like, you can't. I get it. No one knows who he is that isn't a wrestling fan. But like, get him to the Final Four. Let's start having the conversation. And especially if we have the Bloodline and the Hurt Business, like having like a fight, like a real fight, and then it's like Shelton and Bobby Lashley are in the top, 5, and you have Roman and Sammy, and not Roman. You have Sammy and Jay and Kevin Owens. And that's like the 5 of them are the last 5. And then freaking Shelton eliminates Owens and Lashley. You know what I mean? Like, and everyone's just like, holy crap, are they gonna have Shelton Benjamin win this thing? Have Sammy eliminate Shelton, and then eliminate Jay, and then all of a sudden it's just like Shelton Benjamin's in conversation again. And
you know what I would love?
Flipping the seats.
When you bring up Benjamin, what I would love for him to get his opportunity is I'd love to see him finally win a Money in the Bank, because he's one of the guys that when that match first came out, he was one of the show stoppers in those Money in the Bank. Every year since it began, when he was in it, you knew there was a big spot coming because of Shelton. And he had earned to win one of those eventually, and the fact that he never did is ridiculous. So put him in that Money in the Bank match. Give him his dues. Let him get that briefcase and let him have a shot. Like you said, this is a guy that, let's be honest, too, he came in at the same time as Lesnar and came in as Lesnar's teammate. So you already have that coming in. You then get put under Angle. I mean, like, the guy's done just so much from the day he got to WWE to now. So
give him the shot. Like, if you don't want to give him the Intercontinental, or if you don't want to give him the Undisputed Championship, fine. Like, it's wrong, but like, fine. I get it. Because he's not going to be around for like another 15, 20 years. You're trying to build like, forever stars. Understandable. Give him the United States Championship give him the Intercontinental Championship, make it on a big stage, give him like
Yes.
the ticker tape parade, the freaking confetti, give him the whole thing. He deserves his Mania moment. He deserves his Kofi Mania thing. I think having him beat Roman would be a little much, but at the same time, if it's not Roman, let's say it's not Roman, right? Let's say he wins Money in the Bank, and whoever beats Roman, Shelton beats them. When you have Brock Lesnar come back to be like, I want the belt, you have a story there.
Mm-hmm.
You have a story there. You can have him beat. You can have him beat Lesnar. You can have him beat Jay. You can have him beat a Roman. Have him a Roman coming back after losing, being like, "I want my belt back." Have him beat Roman, and then you can have him get super cocky about it. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
he's Shelton Benjamin, whatever's whatever. You have MVP, the Hurt Business, or whatever's whatever. Maybe he kicks out Bobby Lashley out. Da 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 da. And then you have a setup for Gabe Stevenson, who've y'all been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Gable Stevenson. I said the name wrong.
Gabe
Gable
Stevenson.
that you've been talking about this whole time. Minnesota Golden Gopher, state champion wrestler, Olympic competitor, and is everything Shelton Benjamin was when Shelton Benjamin was that age. And then you have him take it from him. If it was the United States Championship, that is a freaking easy ass book.
Yep.
Especially because Bobby Lashley loves that title. So when Shelton beats him, it would be even bigger deal.
Yep.
Pay me. Listen, y'all, WWE, you need to give me the money. I'm sitting here giving you gold for free.
I mean, have
It's
you
true.
ever sent him a resume saying, I know wrestling, I know the biz, I can book? Like,
Call
give
him up.
me-
Be
give
like,
me-
hey,
give me a writing gig, man. I'm a brand
me-
ambassador.
let me
Let's do
talk
this.
to let me talk to Terrorizing. What's he doing right now? I got an idea.
Terrorizing. Cole Quinn. Shout out to Cole Quinn. All of my favorite Paragon J. Pierce. I'm thinking of all the other people who are fake wrestlers in the games too. So many names. Y'all, I'm just saying. Stop playing with these people. Stop putting Rich Hollins and stuff. If he wants to be Butch, let him be Butch. That's cool. Let Rhea Ripley get punched by anybody who wants to punch Rhea Ripley. I think that's weird that we're not doing that.
I mean, you look back. We saw Fabulous Moolah. We saw Mae Young get 3D through tables. Trish Stratus,
even
Stacey.
Trish and Lita
We
did.
saw all these female
And those
talents.
women were innocent.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. They didn't
That's
do
what I
shit.
think is wild. They didn't
Like-
Trish just was around TNA. Like, that's it, man.
This girl broke and entered into Rey Mysterio's home.
and beat him in front of his kids.
Well, she didn't really break it
Now,
in.
Dominic's mom did open the door, so
They forced their way in, though. They forced their way in.
Don't come into my house.
Yep. Ray
And
tried
him
not
and-
to let him.
And then him and Rhea Ripley were like, we're gonna do what we want. And now I will say that even though the Dominic did most of the punching, you knew that Rhea Ripley was gonna beat him up if he didn't. And so it's like this abusive dominatrix lady. Again, as someone who's been to Raw in person, no one is prepared for how hot Rhea Ripley is. You're not ready. You think you're ready, you're not ready. I can understand why Dominic would burn it all down. But what I'm saying is that somebody needs to be able to punch her in the mouth. And if it's just May, if it's just freaking, I don't know. See, I can't even say her name. I'm not even liking this right now. Mia Yim. Mia Yim.
Mia.
mention Mia Yim.
Yeah, if it's not her, it needs to be everybody, because that's weird that you have to go find a woman to go hit that woman after she's done beating up all of your friends. Defend yourself. It's
Right.
2022. Equal rights, equal lefts. That's you're out here.
God damn, dude.
Oh my gosh! All right.
Sorry. I'm being
Well,
too-
We'll cut her off right there. Otherwise, this is going to be a longer episode than usual. Because that's how it always goes when NUR-D is in the house on the 2 count.
I love
We
Dude,
could
he's
go
a killer.
for
Hours.
hours.
Killing it, man. All the time.
So, what you got coming up? Promote whatever you need to promote, my friend.
No, let's talk about what's coming up. So if you're in the Midwest area, I will say that I never really talk about this particular type of show because it's not something that people could go to. But on the off chance you're like flying out somewhere to out of the MSP airport, I will be at the MSP airport on the 15th, performing at the musical area in that space. It's a yearly tradition we do. Spread a little holiday cheer to the people coming and going. So if you're taking a trip, please take me out there. But on the off chance you're sticking around Minnesota, I'm going to be at the illustrious Mall of America Rotunda on the 23rd to do a whole concert with a full Friendly Neighborhood Spider Band. It's going to be very fun. Shout out to everybody for First Wrestling because you know how awesome a show can be out there at the Rotunda. So please come through. And then on the 30th of December, I'm doing a New Year's Eve show at Modest Brewing. Tickets are extremely limited. It is going to be, I'm going to do new music. I'm going to do a whole bunch of stuff. Crowfather's going to be there.
Yeah.
X is going to be there. It's going to be a dope show.
There it is. Awesome. You see it right there at NUR-D Rocks, guys. Make sure you follow him. Find all his music. Next time you're on, because you'll be back on. Next time you're on, we'll need to do like a little music break or something. We'll play like a live video clip of you because we never get to play your music on this show since
not until I write the new 2 count intro song. Not until that happens.
Remember to bill only JR on that one.
Yeah, see, now that you said it, it needs to happen now. See, you understand? Like, you can't taunt all the people in the chat with nothing now, man.
Well,
We need a NUR-D original on this, man.
Don't you worry about it, people. Don't you worry about it. We'll work something out.
And the more time you say top shelf, the better.
Oh, God.
We'll never play it.
Oh, shut up, you two haters. You guys didn't get called out at Mall of America like I did.
Ace, you remember back in the days when we'd play songs that had bad words in them, and then we just do the... We'll do that one anytime NUR-D says...
We'll radio edit Top Shelf out of it.
Yeah.
Tommy loves Top Shelf so much he doesn't hashtag wrestling in any of our posts, but he hashtags Top Shelf like 3 times in 3 different ways.
And you know what? That's the best way to do it. It's brand recognition, people.
He gets it.
Yeah, but
y'all fucking hate, man. But NUR-D's over here representing and understanding how this fucking works, man. Fuck you all, dude.
So
that's why NUR-D's on a different level, man. Like, he's not even top shelf, man. He's literally in the back where you got to ask for him, or he's behind the glass case where they got to get the key out and then find him because he's like $3,000 worth of booze right here, man. I'm over here being like a $200 bottle at the top shelf. He's over here being $3,000 worth of all that sort of goodness, man. Fucking NUR-D, you are the best, dude.
Ascending shelf. That's how we do it.
All right, so next week we will shit, I don't remember who's next week.
Keep it together, Ace.
No, you didn't tell me.
Oh, actually, to be honest, I think next week was supposed to be a guest that has not confirmed. So,
secret guest. It's Ridge Holland.
Well, I'll say it. Yeah, right. It's Ridge Holland. Well, he's not coming on now because he's gonna be like, "Who was that NUR-D guy?" and all that mess he talked about me.
I will fight you in the streets.
Yeah, dude. When they gave his stats, I'm like, I'm bigger than Ridge Holland, dude. Fucking bring it on, dude.
Right.
I will fight you in the streets.
I think we were trying to get JDX on for next week, but I have not got the confirmation. So
what about Jeremy Fine?
Huh?
Rabbi Jeremy Fine? No. Yes. No.
Oh. Sorry. Yep. No. That's what we're doing. So that one is confirmed. The 20th is there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's going to be Second City Wrestling, which they just announced today. Show is officially sold out in Chicago.
Second Wrestling. Dynasty.
Second Wrestling. Dynasty. Big show for them. So we'll talk about that next week. Week after that, Lars Metzger will join us on this show. Nice. Yeah. 20th, we're not sure. The 27th will be the holiday 2-count episode with our good friend Jordan Max. So join us for that one. NUR-D, you'll be back soon. We'll get with you on that one, but you'll be back soon. As always, open door.
Yes.
Open door. If you ever want to come on your own, just tell us. Otherwise, we're going to get a date worked out here soon. But
I love it. I love
it.
So.
Well, we appreciate it. And if you guys haven't yet, check out that new album, Heaven, HVN.
Yeah.
Is
Deluxe Heaven. Yep, HVN. Deluxe edition drops on Bandcamp on Friday.
There you go, man.
Ooh,
amazing.
that's exclusive.
Amazing album, guys. So check it out, everybody. Guys, you got anything to promote this weekend, JR, Tommy?
Yeah.
Not this weekend, no.
Yep, and I don't either.
One.
Yeah.
Well, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, this weekend, everyone take 5 seconds and tell someone that you care about them. Tomorrow is not promised, and that is what you will do this weekend.
There it is. Everybody, you got your assignment.
NUR-D over here, man. Gets it.
Unless it's Rich Holland.
No, everyone, please go out of your way to tell Rich Holland something negative about himself. It'd be hard to do because he has nothing that you can say. It is complete blank. It is this. It is a sheet of printer paper. It is white milk. It's not even 2% milk. It's just white milk. What kind of milk? Milk. I don't know. It is a unused
scary vanilla
whiteboard.
neck breaker.
It is vanilla
Milk.
ice cream. Not
That
French
powder.
vanilla. That would be interesting. It is just vanilla ice cream.
No texture, no
vanilla
nothing.
Ice cream, for God's sake. Even worse.
He's just ice. That's it. He's just
He is
ice. It's
Walmart
frozen water.
brand socks.
Before we go, I gotta ask you guys all this. All right. So when I was a little kid and it snowed like it did now, my mother would make us chocolate ice cream, but it wasn't ice cream. She'd go out and get a bowl of snow and then put like Nestle's Quick on it. Did any of you guys have that?
That was
No, I didn't grow up that poor.
Yeah, you just said something really sad about how poor you were, man.
No, I didn't. It was delicious.
Yo,
JR's trying to justify snow as a
trying to
dessert.
justify it. I mean, now
he
look
just
at me.
gave
I
us
turned
a
out
story
fat.
Dust Bowl that I wasn't ready to have today.
Yeah, y'all just eat snow randomly. Yeah, when I was out playing it. No, I mean, like, did you bring it inside and have Nestle Quick poured on it? Or like, what?
You know that time where your mom lied to you about ice cream and just grabbed snow from outside and put chocolate on it?
Yeah.
Damn. Yo, man, I had.
I'm so glad that something I said made you fucking come up with that goddamn story, JR.
Quicksilver is ice cream because you said ice. And it's like, oh yeah, ice. That's the kind Rich Holland would want you to have.
Wow.
I mean, for God's sakes.
This is
Say,
insane.
hey, let me break your. Oh shit! I'm sorry about that. Here's some Nestle Quick Ice.
Was
That's
this
the
real?
saddest thing ever
Is
said.
that
on
a,
the
is that
two-count.
is that a real thing or is that just a bit?
No, it's a fucking real thing. Why would I? How would I make that up?
Wow.
You know, if I was going to make it up, it would be like, oh yeah, my mom used to go out and get snow and then put sardines in it and feed it to us. Who the fuck does that? But Nestle's Quick makes perfect
We call it
sense,
chocolate
and it's
soup when it
delicious.
melted on us too. Fucking A.
So freaking funny, dude. That's just
Would your
water,
mom
man.
also put buckets outside when it rained just so you guys had like drinking water? Or?
Oh, for God's sakes, we're not savages. We're
Actually,
not
she
running
was
water.
trying to toss the Nestle Quick in the air. She's like, "This is really chocolate rain right here. Ha! Get it, get it."
If you just catch it with your mouth outside, you don't have to clean the cup.
Yeah, we all share the same bowl. Oh man.
JR is playing with his
I love
friends outside. Hey, why are you eating the snow?
I
Go
love
bring it
I love
inside, get
having
some chocolate mix in it.
Everybody's
Got
had
his
that
own
moment
chocolate.
where your
Chocolate.
friend says something and you just look at them. You're like, "Yo, what happened when I wasn't around?" That's what I just heard. I just heard a friend. I heard a friend of mine tell a story of poverty, and we all just were not ready for it.
This
That's
was
true.
the 60s.
Oh, that's a reason.
I don't-
That's
I don't think that makes it better.
1860s? The 1860s,
Yeah, right?
Hey, come on now.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
We crushed the cocoa beans ourselves and we put it in the snow. This is your dessert. You won't get this again until it snows.
Wow.
Oh,
Too many
all
dogs
right,
out there
guys.
pissing.
Was hail like a special treat for your household?
Sprinkles? Come on, no. Hail is ridiculous. Free ice cubes, but no.
Yeah, no, they would try to capture the hail into something to put in their Coca-Cola.
Oh my
Sorry,
goodness!
their generic Coca-Cola.
Thank you for ending the show on that, JR. Thank you for ending the show on that.
It's my job.
All right, everybody. We'll see you guys next week with another 2
Be
count.
thankful for what you have, everybody. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because
Yep.
all you need is a little Nestle's Quick and some snow, and you got
Stop talking. Stop fucking talking.
Better,
Stop talking.
better than DQ.
That's a top shelf dessert, son of a bitch. You dirty bastard. That's a top shelf.
That's a top show.